Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Kenya Rahman, author and founder of the Child Support Hustle and the Reform Child Support Now movement. Of course, I have to set the comment section up. So give me 1 second. Discussion. Well, I want everybody to be able to comment. I hope everybody's doing well out there this evening, staying safe, or this afternoon. I'm on a little earlier than I usually will come on. Hi, Johnny. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. If you can, and if you don't mind, please click the share button. If you haven't liked the page already, please do. The Child Support Hustle is real. If you don't know, now you know. And there's probably not so many people that haven't had their lives affected, or somebody that they know haven't had their lives affected by the child support system. So our mission is to educate, send out the information, let people know what their rights are while we fight for reform to the unconstitutional child support system. I often get DMs and emails and things asking why is the system unconstitutional, and my response is going to start being, usually I'll kind of go back and forth, but I'm about to start saying, why is it not? How can anybody support this system that clearly violates equal protections for men and women, mothers and fathers, by way of the child support system and the family court system? And that's going to bring me into what I want to discuss today in this video. So I was on Twitter, and there was a guy who asked a question on Reddit. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he said that he had, can you guys hear me okay? Johnny, can you hear me okay? Oh, hey, Jared. Hi, James. So he asked a question pertaining to, he had sex with a girl 3 weeks prior. And she texted him the day before and said that she was pregnant. Then she stopped responding to any text, any of his phone calls. So his simple question was, what steps should he take to protect himself from legal trouble and from his future income, assets? Like, just asking what were his rights in this situation. So, of course, the typical response when a man asks these questions are, you shouldn't have had sex. You shouldn't have had unprotected sex. And one response, I responded to this lady, said, okay, thanks, Johnny, said, you can't get out of child support. First of all, how could he be on child support? He doesn't even know, one, if the lady is pregnant, and two, if that's his child, and three, he's not even talking about child support. He's just asking, you can't get out of child support. You sad sack of pine cones. I don't know if that's a diss. I don't know what that is. Try a condom next time. Unprotected sex is unsafe, especially with this deadbeat. So he's already been called a deadbeat. He's already been put on child support, like he should have wore a rubber, keep your dick in your pants, all that good stuff. So nothing about this woman that also may have had unprotected sex as well. So, and the comments go on and on, but we're used to that. If you're new here, or we post something about, equality and parental equality, a man being able to say whether he wants to be a parent or not versus a woman's right. We have all these choices when it comes to parenthood. So there's always that, you shouldn't have had sex. So basically, a man, his only option is basically abstinence, right? So, if you can't, share this page. And another thing, if you're watching this later on YouTube, after I post it on YouTube, what I'm finding out, or what people are commenting, is I always put references up when I make a video. So when I put them on YouTube, when people go in to click on the links that I put up, the pages that I'm posting the links are not found. Now, when I go on I used another my tablet and they came up. But if you're going straight from YouTube to a link that I post, they're not coming up as found, this page not found. I don't know if that's part of censorship. I don't know what the reason is. But if you're watching this on YouTube, excuse me, you might have to come onto our Facebook page where I record these live, and then come and look in the links. I'll try to put them in the comments on YouTube, but that hasn't been working either. They're just, the pages aren't being, they're not accessible from YouTube, and I don't know what's up with that. So just FYI. Hey Anthony, no problem. This, I mean, we hear this all the time, but there's not, you know, we as women are not seem to be held at the same responsibility level as men are. But then you guys are considered deadbeats and abandoners when you don't have an option of being a parent in the first place, except don't have sex. So in my notes I'm saying the original poster never said that the sex was unprotected. However, the responder and countless other people always blame men for unwanted pregnancies, right? So what I'm going to talk about today is the options that women have, and one option in particular. So women have the option for abortion, adoption, and we can even drop babies off at safe havens. Now, if you've seen our page before, we've talked about safe havens before, where the baby, the mother can just drop her baby off at some, like a police station or a hospital or anything like that with no repercussions. So I wanted to go in deeper because I knew that they existed, but I didn't know what the extent was, what, you know, what everything was. So I wanted to bring that to you all while I was educating myself about these safe havens, and another opportunity that mothers have to opt out of parenthood. So according to the childwelfare.gov, all 50 states, DC and Puerto Rico, have enacted safe haven legislations. The laws are limited to young children. I'm going to take this off so I can kind of look. I'm looking at myself, and then it's kind of hard to look at myself and then look at the camera. So if you see me like going up and down, I'm trying to get better when I make these videos. I'm just trying to improve my talking to you all, and still trying to talk in the comments and still deliver the information. So please work with me, guys. Hey, Gabriella. But you have rights to your children. You have even more rights as the mother than a father does. So I would go back and try to get rights to your children. I mean, fight. And that's with any parent. Fight for your rights, okay? You have them. Okay, so there's laws for these safe havens, right? 11 states and Puerto Rico only accept infants who are 72 hours old and younger. Approximately 19 states accept infants up to 1 month old. Other states specify varying age limits in their statutes. So these mothers can have their babies up to a month and sometimes even older and still be able to drop their babies off and nothing is done to them. But if a father even asks, what if I don't want to be a parent? What, you know, he's automatically a deadbeat and needs to stop having sex. So most states allow either parent to drop the baby at safe havens. In 4 states in Puerto Rico, only the mother can relinquish her infant. Idaho specifies that only a custodial parent may surrender the infant. So once again, fathers are excluded. In DC, an infant may be dropped off only by a custodial parent who is a resident of DC. Approximately 11 states allow an agent of the parent, someone who has the parent's approval, can take the baby to a safe haven. California, Kansas, and New York, only a person who has legal custody can drop the baby off at a safe haven. 8 states do not specify which person can drop the baby off at a safe haven. So that means anybody can drop this baby off at a safe haven and no repercussions. They didn't specify, so if I don't say a state specifically, Gabriella, then the government hasn't specified, so it has to be in one of these, grouped up in one of these states. But all 50 states have a safe haven law in place. Okay, approximately 16 states and Puerto Rico require parents to relinquish their infants only to a hospital, emergency medical service provider, or a health care facility. In 27 states, fire stations are designated safe haven providers. 25 states allow personnel at police stations and other law enforcement agencies, they can accept the infants. 5 states, only emergency medical personnel responding to 911 calls. In 5 states, a mother can call 911 and they can come pick her baby up. And she will not face any kind of abandonment charges, any kind of nothing. But on the flip side, a father is going to go to jail if he's declared that he is not in the home. He's declared as abandoned to this baby because he doesn't live under the same roof. He can now be placed on child support and be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But mothers can call 911 and have their baby picked up with nothing. Now, I'm not saying, I know there's instances where mothers are, unfortunately leaving their babies in God knows where because they're not ready to be a parent. There's been instances where babies have been thrown in dumpsters and things like that. God forbid. But if it's going to be good for one parent, it has to be the same for the other parent. Other than that, it's a violation of equal protections. If one parent can opt out of parenthood by dropping a baby off anywhere or at these safe havens, then a man who doesn't want to be a father should have that same option, is my point. No repercussions, no questions asked. That's right, which is my whole point. Who's that? Jess? Where's that? 5 states allow churches to act as safe havens, but parents must be sure that there are church personnel on site. So even if they abandon their child and there's no personnel on site, once they leave, what are they going to do? So once they drop their babies off at the safe haven, the emergency protective custody of the infant is in the providers. They are required to provide the safe haven personnel provide any immediate medical care to that infant may require. In 14 states and DC, when the safe haven is not a hospital, the baby must be transferred to a hospital ASAP. They are required to notify the local child welfare department that the infant was dropped off. In 24 states and DC, the provider is required to ask the parent or family of medical history and information. In 17 states and DC, the provider is required to attempt to give the parents, finally the other parent is mentioned, the father is mentioned, information about the legal repercussions of leaving the infant and info about referral services. We're going to get back to that, the legal repercussions. In 4 states, a copy of the infant's numbered bracelet, ID bracelet, may be offered to the parent if they want to go back and they want to reunify with their baby. So they even get a chance, after they abandon their baby, they can even go back and get the baby. But a father they can try to get some kind of visitation with their children through the court system and be denied. They don't care anything about these children, Coy. Nothing. They want your money. They swear that this whole system is in the best interest of the children. But they'll punish fathers to the fullest extent of the law if they don't make a payment through the child support system. But a mother can drop her baby off and go back and pick the baby up if they so choose to. Okay, so the consequence of relinquishment after the department assumes custody of the infant as an abandoned child. The department is responsible for placing the abandoned infant and for petitioning, like a adoption home, and petitioning the court for termination of the birth parent's parental rights. So now they want the rights relinquished. So now the baby is a ward of the state. Before the abandoned baby is placed in a pre-adoptive home, 14 states and D.C. require the department to request a local law enforcement to determine whether the baby has been reported missing. 5 states require the department to check for the, now we want to mention the father, the possible father registry, I can never say this word, putative father registry before a termination of parental rights petition can be filed. The problem with that is if a mother does not, a pregnant woman doesn't tell the father, potential father, that he has a baby, he won't register his name into this registry to know that the baby was even delivered. So there it goes, a woman abandoning a child and the father, potential father, not even knowing. So there's another right of his violated because unmarried fathers don't have any rights to that child. So that child could be abandoned, dropped off, and the man doesn't have any clue, but if she chooses to keep that baby and he doesn't want to be a father, he is responsible for everything. That equal protection violation. Okay, where was I? Approximately 20 states and D.C. have procedures in place for a parent to reclaim the abandoned infant. 5 states have provisions for the non-relinquishing father to petition for custody of the child. 5 states. 50 states have these safe havens in operation. Only 5 states have provisions for a father to petition for custody for his child. 0 custody, Kyle? Yeah, they'll say that you abandon your child just to get child support. Desert it just because you don't live under the same roof. And finally, in 18 states and Puerto Rico, the act of surrendering an infant to a state safe house is presumed to be the relinquishment of parental rights to a child. No further parental consent is required for a child's adoption. Okay? So as you can see, there are a number of ways a mother can opt out of parenthood, including abandoning her baby with no legal ramifications. On the other hand, men are told to shut up and pay up and call derogatory names when they say that they do not want to be a parent. The only other option is, like I said, abstinence. Even if they have protected sex, they still get slammed. You guys still get slammed because you don't want to be a parent. If a man is proven to be the father of the baby, and I say this all the time, fellas, always get a DNA test. They'll ask you to sign affidavit of paternity or acknowledgement of paternity. It's one of the 2 A's, because in most cases you can't be put on child support until paternity is established. If you agree, even when the lady is pregnant, if you agree to paternity, that's how they get you for the child support for an unborn child. So you wait till that child is born, you get the DNA test, and then you go from there. And then you'll have rights when you go in court, when you're sued for child support. And I always say this, keep your receipts. Anything you do financially, never give cash. Have a receipt and show everything that you do, and you go to court and you prove that you don't need child support to make you take care of your child. But always get a DNA test. Okay, so the fact that new mothers have so many opportunities to opt out of parenthood, and fathers have literally one, is a violation of equal protections under the law. I meant to read it all together, but you guys know. I already said that. Oh, I definitely want to mention, because a lot of people talk about terminating your parental rights and how, if that can stop child support, right? So According to Men's Divorce, in most states, termination of parental rights does not necessarily terminate the obligation to provide child support unless somebody else is going to take financial responsibility of the child, like a step parent or somebody else. So your obligation to support the child financially is terminated as long as somebody else is going to step in. In many cases, you don't even have to be proven a father to be put. That's right. In most cases, you don't have to be proven a father. Once you sign that agreement, Jess, it's over. And you only get a certain amount of time to rescind paternity. So if you sign that paperwork and you admit, or you say, I'm the father, and you find out 65 days later, most states is 60 days, and you find out, oh, that's not my child. I want to take back my admission that that's my baby. And most states won't let you because the time has elapsed. So now legally, you're the father. So they're not going to let you off of child support, even if the biological father is there, unless he says, oh, I'm the biological father and I'll take over all the financial responsibilities. Then that person, the man that signed that AOP, is the one that's going to be financially responsible. So don't sign anything. You find somebody that can help you, determine or whatever when you're in the hospital after she has the baby or what have they call it the happy hour in the hospitals. That's the term that child support agencies use, because the happy hour is right after the baby is born. So they want to get the man or the potential father to sign that AOP to make him the father, so then they can pursue child support right away. They got tricks because they want your money. They want to have you indebted to them. It has nothing to do with these children. So if you sign your parental rights away, you still legally, in most cases, are going to be held responsible for child support, especially if you owe arrears. That's not going to wipe it away. You're going to still owe those arrears. So, in closing, I like to do quick videos. Men are forced to become fathers even when they don't want to, and then are punished for the next 18 plus years depending on the situation. They're either having wages garnished, oftentimes leaving them without enough money to provide for their basic needs. They're constantly being threatened with license suspensions, including driving, professional fishing, etc. Some places, I think it was Kentucky, I think they passed a law, I wrote about it a couple of years ago, but I think you can't get your gun license if you owe child support. But don't quote me on that. I'm gonna have to look that up, and either I'll post something about it. But I think Kentucky you can't get it. It might even be more now, but I think they passed that law. I can't say that word for shit. Hey David, thanks for posting. Yeah, Johnny, they're slick with it. Don't sign anything, fellas. Okay, another thing how men are affected, or fathers are affected, is lowering the credit scores, preventing them from getting certain loans, employment opportunities, access to housing, cars. You get a car loan, it'll be denied if this child support is on your credit report. Passports are denied, leaving a lot of men stranded. Thanks, Reginald. Stranded in the United States. This means a lot of people can't even go overseas to get better job opportunities, visit family and friends, or I've talked to parents that literally had death in their family and they couldn't travel overseas because their passport was revoked because of child support. They have guys having tax returns, bank accounts seized, liens placed on your property, alienated from your children without the assistance of family court, locked up when you can't afford to pay the child support, and then the tens of thousands of dollars in debt of arrears, because most of the time they're going to go back to the birth of the child retroactively and charge you those tens of thousands of dollars. That's how most men end up in debt to child support, in debt to the child support system. I'm sorry. And to add insult to injury, if you even play the numbers or play the lottery, if you hit the lottery, child support taking that money too. You basically, there's no life. So if they have, my point is, if we women have an option or more than one option, whether we can be parents or whether we choose to be parents, so should men. Fathers are put in a box when it comes to parenthood, and women literally, mothers can literally put their babies in a box. So that's my video for today. I saw that and I said, you know what, I'm gonna speak on it, because it's another violation of equal protections, as I've said again, and this system is unconstitutional on so many levels. So if you're asking me or you're thinking about inboxing me, how is it unconstitutional? Look at the videos. I have several. I have many articles. I have to do this. My team will get mad. Get the book, The Child Support Hustle. This is my book. You can order it at our website, thechildsupporthustle.com. I'm wearing our gray shirt. We got the black Child Support Hustle t-shirt. Support the movement. Yeah, with 50-50, you're still ordered to pay. But I know that there's a lot of organizations out there that's trying to fight that. But the more overnights that you spend with your child, the less the child support can be. It can be decreased based on the number of overnights that you spend with your child. And like I said, if you're already taking care of your child and you don't need child support involved, go and fight that. That is a court order. They are basically accusing you, the non-custodial parent, of abandonment, and saying that you have to have the court, a judge, come and tell you and force you to legally force you to take care of your children, your child. Yeah, Johnny, it's against men. Thanks for getting the black tea, Glenn. All proceeds go back into the movement. So if that helps anything, you can donate if you want to help with the cause. So we're always fighting them, and like I said, we're getting movement, but they're not going to just give up all the money. This is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. The child support system is. Oh, defund child support. Okay, well, think about it. It might be time for some new t-shirts. Great idea, Johnny. So, okay, I'll see about getting that going on. So I'm gonna look in the comments and see if there's any questions I can answer. But yeah, so next time somebody says, oh, and you see it, you're gonna see it everywhere. When somebody asks a question, a man asks a question about, what's his rights, if he doesn't want the baby, and somebody said, well, you shouldn't have had sex, you should have kept it in your pants, you deadbeat. First of all, how can you be a deadbeat and the baby's not even here yet? I'm telling these people, and always fight for your rights. Don't forget, you are your biggest advocate. Owing child support, having a felony, a nightmare. All your rights are gone. Oh yeah, owing child support and having a felony. Also got the butt. Oh, thank you, Glenn. I'm glad it taught you. Before I wrote that book, that's how I wrote the book. I didn't know anything about child support except that I thought I had to put, the father of my child on it, and that was it. I didn't have any rights, and they tried to treat me like I didn't have any rights, and that's when I had to fight back for myself. And if you're new here, that's how I got involved in this, because the arrears were up to $30,000, and I wanted the case closed out of Columbus, Ohio, Franklin County. And they told me that they would not close my case. I could not close my case, even though I did not reside in Ohio anymore. And I fought them. It took me 8 years to get the case closed and arrears erased. And I mean, they fought me every step of the way. And I wasn't going anywhere. And that's how all this came about. And I figured out how unconstitutional, illegal, unfair, extremely biased the whole child support family court system is against men and fathers. And I made it my mission to do whatever I could to let people know what was going on and try to stop the child support hustle. So that's what I've been doing. Okay. Okay, Glenn, I'm looking forward to seeing your documentary. Hey, Andrew. I always see people talking about class action suits, Andrew, but I'm not privy to any. I'm not involved in any. But always look here. We have a network of people, so you can always, communicate with other people here and see if anybody has anything like that going on. But as of now, I don't know anything that's going on like that. If I see anything, then I'm gonna check it out. I like to check everything out before I put it out to you all. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you. I admire that you keep fighting. I know it's not easy. So when I come across stuff like that I think is going to be beneficial, or if anybody on the teams, we put it out there, but we like to vet everything because it's so much. There's a lot of misinformation out there that I found out over the years, and I don't want anybody, getting their hopes up or just getting screwed around. Y'all been through enough with the system, so I don't have an opinion, Andrew. I just know what we do here at the Child Support Hustle. I know the foundation that that I've created with the help of other people, and that's what I speak on. So I figure if it helps you, whatever group that you go to, if it's supporting you when you get good information, then go for it, because it's all about helping you and helping parents and helping and making sure the children are being exposed to both of their parents when that's the case, and that your rights are not being violated. And we want to change this system for sure. But however helps you, whoever helps you, I would never put down another support group, because I figure everybody is offering something, bringing something to the table. All right. There's some real deadbeats out there, and I often say how the system is set up because somebody has to willfully fail to pay child support, right, Jess? So if they concentrated on the people that actually have the assets, hiding money, abandoning their families, and willfully fail to pay child support, then they can go after the people that the system was designed to go after back in 75. But they reformed it, and this is what we have now. And that's under Clinton and a Republican Congress and all that. It was a bipartisan effort. So we can blame everybody up there in Washington for this mess. Okay, so I'm out, guys. I hope y'all have a great weekend. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to send us a DM. Please be safe, and please be kind to one another. Okay? Remember, they can ignore thousands. Wait. My dad had me change this because it used to be one. So I always get kind of tied up because this is not my original. But they can ignore hundreds. No. Wait. They can ignore hundreds. They can ignore thousands. But they cannot ignore millions. Let's go. Be safe, guys.